C-SPAN's local content vehicles are traveling the country, visiting congressional districts to look at the most closely contested House races in this year's midterm elections.
The 18th District is in the center of the state and moves down to the south. It doesn't touch any of the borders, but it takes in a very large territory in the middle to southern part on the eastern half of Ohio. It's a very large district, and it has 5 media markets, which makes it very expensive for the candidates and other organizations to play in. There's no really large city. Chillicothe is one of the largest cities in the district, but there's really no major urban center in the district. It's not necessarily rural, but it's just very spread out. Candidates are Congressman Zack Space. He's a 2-term congressman. He's running for re-election for a second time.
I've managed to do something that's really hard to do. I've made just about everybody mad at one time or another in the last 2 years. I'm getting beat up by those in the far left and the far right. It's unfortunate, but that's what happens to moderates in Washington.
We also have State Senator Bob Gibbs, who is running for the first time.
Simply put, I like to say we can't spend and borrow ourselves for prosperity. And the number one problem we've got right now is deficit spending. It's a risking our national security because we're borrowing money from China and other places, and we've just got to get our fiscal house in order.
As you can imagine, in a district like this in Ohio, the big issues are jobs and the economy. Congressman Space is attacking his opponent on trade, and on Bob Gibbs on trade, and is airing TV ads stressing Gibbs's positions on NAFTA and other trade deals, and using Gibbs's own words to attack him on. And Gibbs is, as you can imagine, in Ohio, where unemployment is higher than the national average, he's attacking on jobs and the unemployment rate. So that is the major issue, although this is a Republican district, so Space is using immigration to his advantage, and is accusing Bob Gibbs of being for a guest worker program, and is hitting him with some pretty hard-hitting ads that you would normally see coming from maybe a Republican, but is using that issue to his advantage, and it is hitting Gibbs on immigration and trying to run to his right on immigration. Gibbs is definitely going after is definitely trying to tie Space to Nancy Pelosi, Speaker Pelosi, and I think we've seen that everywhere. And President Obama lost the district. John McCain got 53% here, so he didn't start out. He started the race. President Obama did in an unpopular position, and as we've gone on and as Republicans have caught momentum, Obama is even less popular here. So that is an easy attack for Gibbs, and he's obviously benefiting from that. He wouldn't be in the game otherwise. He's just not that strong. He's not as strong of a candidate to be in the game without the help he's been getting from the national tide. So they've been going with that issue. Obviously, national Republicans have gotten involved and are hitting him as well with his ties to Nancy Pelosi. Democrats are coming on the other side and also using trade. I mean, the trade, the economy on the Republican side, voting, supporting tax cuts for the upper income groups. So we're not really seeing anything different here on the micro, on the race side as we are seeing in most other districts.
But the problem in Washington, D.C., the process is broken. You see them introducing big, many pages of bills, amendments at the last minute on the floor. It didn't go through the committee process. It seems like it's too much top down, and we've made a pledge. It's called Pledge to America. It says we're going to open up the committee process. We're going to let the committees function.
I haven't been afraid to buck my party leadership on guns, immigration, state taxes, health care, coal. The list goes on and on. But it's not because I wanted to buck my party leadership for the sake of bucking my party leadership. It's because with those issues and others, I felt that my party was wrong.
This is a very expensive district. It costs about $300,000 a week on the conservative side to air TV ads here. So because of that, the parties got involved late here. And even the candidates, State Senator Gibbs got on the air rather late. Space has a huge money advantage in this race. And so he's been able to use that to his advantage and try to define Gibbs as out of touch as out of touch for the district. So the outside groups have definitely been involved, but because it is so expensive, it's just happened later than in most other places. So I think, though, at the end of the day, I think Republicans think this is one of their better pickup opportunities in the state. But Democrats acknowledge that that is the case. But this is a tough district to hold on to in a year like this.
Leading up to the November 2nd midterm elections, we're traveling the country and visiting congressional districts where some of the most closely contested House races are taking place. For more information on what the local content vehicles are up to this election season, visit our website, cspan.org/LCV.